All right, so we're looking at homework for October 15th, multiplying and dividing decimals. We're doing this just as a little review to make sure that we've got it and that we can multiply and divide decimals correctly. And it is a review for those of you who maybe are struggling, and we'll have to take the retest this Thursday. So we have 4 and 568 thousandths multiplied by 2 and 15 hundredths. So I'm going to go ahead and line them up. 4,568 multiplied by 215. Now, if you remember, I taught you that you need to just multiply my whole numbers, ignore the decimals. We'll get to the decimals later. So 8 times 5 is 40. 6 times 5. Pretty much you're going to go ahead and multiply this all the way out. You know how to multiply. Once you have your multiplied product, and don't forget, because we multiply with the 5, there's no decimal in the ones, there's no placeholder in the ones place. But when we get to multiplying by the tens, we need a placeholder in the ones place so we can start at the tens, and 2 in the ones and tens to multiply with the hundredths. Don't forget your placeholders, please. Okay, the other thing, once you have multiplied this out and all added it up, you're going to make sure, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 3 plus 2, that means I'm going to move my decimal in the end 5 decimal places. Okay, that's a review on how to multiply decimals. You should be able to multiply. I'm just helping you with the decimal part. Now, when we are dividing, we have 1 and 65 hundredths divided by 4 thousandths. So I need you to remember, dividend, divisor. The dividend goes inside, the divisor goes outside. So ultimately you're going to have, I'm going to come over here just so I have a little more room. You're going to have 1 and 65 hundredths divided by 4 thousandths. The only reason we move the decimal is if there's a decimal on the outside. So decimal on the outside, move it 3 times. So now I have 4. But that means I need to move my decimal here 3 times. But Mrs. Coyle, there's an empty space now. Fill it with a 0. Make sure your decimal goes straight up. Don't lose that decimal. Make sure you're lining everything up. Okay, now, a grocery store sells steak for $6.10 per pound. What would be the cost of 7 3/5 pounds of steak? So you have $6.10. You have 7 3/5 pounds of steak. So we have decimals and fractions. I think the easiest way to do this would be to change 7 3/5 into a decimal, which means you need to first turn it into an improper fraction, multiply, then add, in order to multiply. So 7 times 5, 35, plus 3 is 38. Keep the denominator. Now you're going to change this into a decimal, top in, bottom out. Top divided by bottom. We know that the fraction really just means to divide. And you are going to get a decimal answer. So we know the price per pound. We know the number of pounds. We want to find the total we paid. So we're going to multiply. All right. You guys have got this. If you have more questions, I will be answering as much as I can today in class, as well as if you want to come to tutoring, I can help you there. All right. Bye, guys.